What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy SEFtheLawnSurgeon, and you already know what time it is. A Tipsy Talk. Alright guys, so just got home, doing a little cutting, decided to have me a little drink, and decided to do a Tipsy Talk. I do not know, I haven't done a Tipsy Talk in a long time. Everybody keeps begging me to do a freaking Tipsy Talk. I do not know why y'all love hearing me just sit here and talk, but I will oblige you guys, so cheers. Anywho, today's Tipsy Talk subject is flyers. Everybody keeps asking me about my flyers, so I decided to print my flyers out and show you guys them over the years. So here we go. Alright, so here is my first year's flyer. As you guys know, I started my business in 2012, and I just was out and I was cutting my uncle's grass, and I said, hey, you know, I probably could make a few bucks cutting some grass. So I came home, I whipped this flyer together in about an hour, and I printed it out. And the reason I did it this way so I could print out 4 of them. So I printed this out on one big page, but usually I used to have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. So I could have 4 per sheet, you know, it'd be cost effective. So I used this pretty much my first year, and I would hand out, 2012, and I would hand out like 50 at a time, and out of every 50 I probably get like 1 or 2 calls, and then half the time I would only get 1 of those 2 calls jobs, you know. So yeah, so that's how that was. So the next year I said maybe I need to make my flyer bigger, you know what I mean? So I went to this process here, which was the long one, which I had 2. It was 2 on a sheet, you know, 1 long one here, another long one here. But with this long one, probably should have zoomed in on this one so y'all can see it good, what it says and stuff. It's similar to my first year. I always like to have a personal estimate spot, because when you put something at somebody's house, whether it's in their door, on their mailbox, I like to give them an actual estimate, because if you just give them a flyer, they're gonna be like, why should I call this guy? I don't know how much he's gonna charge me. He's gonna charge me $100, you know. But if you put on there, I'm gonna cut your grass for 35 bucks or 40 bucks, they're gonna be more inclined to call you. Anywho, my second year pretty much says the same thing, except for I added an email and I added my Facebook page. Also that year I added my Pay Anywhere, which is similar to the Square thing, where you could put it in your phone and you can you know, take credit card payments. Then there's some pictures from my first year, where I started treating the yard, and this is actually my first customer ever, and that's the after. And of course I got the personal estimate spot, so I can leave an estimate. So that's that. My third year, and I pretty much use this flyer for my 3rd and 4th year, because I got lazy in my 4th year, but I'll talk about that. My 3rd year, I said I need to step my game up, so it's pretty much the same flyer, except I added my YouTube page, which I didn't have on the last one, and then I took away American Express. Stupid plane, sorry. Hope you guys can hear me. There's a B. But I took away American Express because they charge extra fees to use their swipe or whatever. So I took away American Express. Pretty much the same flyer. So I used this in 2014. Oh shoot, I'm about to lose my flyers and stuff. I used this in 2014, and I went out and I went hard in 2014 because that's the year my wife was pregnant, and I said I need to get some extra jobs, I need to make some money, and I was chug-a-lugging that year. I got a whole bunch of new customers. So my wife had my daughter at the end of 2014, and so in 2013 and 2014 I sent my customers Christmas cards. 2012, 2013 I sent my customers Christmas cards. 2014 I didn't because we had just had my daughter. I was kind of busy with her, and I said, well, Christmas cards don't really make that much of a difference. Well, they did. I ended up losing like half of my customers, and it could have been just luck or coincidence, but I contributed to the Christmas cards. So I will never not send my customer Christmas cards again. Anyways, I don't know why I'm talking this way. Anyways, so I didn't send my customers Christmas cards in 2014. What is that circle on the screen? That was probably on my lens. Hold on. So like I said, I didn't send my customers Christmas cards in 2014, and then I went into 2015 kind of lazy. Well, it wasn't lazy. We just had our first child, you know what I mean? So my child was more important than my side business. I still had a full-time job that I had to make sure I kept. And then I had, you know, my business where I tried to maintain about 7 customers. So I maintained about those 7 customers, but I really didn't go out and hand out any flyers because I didn't really want to take on any more customers because my hands were so full. So, and if I did hand out flyers, I just gave out the one from 2014. So 2015 went by last year, and I was like, you know, this year sucked. Like, I made half of what I made the year before. I need to step my game back up. So I said I need to reinvent my flyer. Stop with this little same raggedy flyer, and I need to go hard. So that's what I did. I went ahead and made a whole new flyer. It's kind of whole new, but still has that same setup right there. But I went ahead and I put a picture of one of my customers' houses right there, and pretty much the same words. Text. I put text or call Stacy for a free estimate because I like it better when people text me. Then of course accepts Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and I put mowing and trimming. And I didn't put all the extra stuff that I put in the last one like that. I just put mowing and trimming, and if I gotta put any extra stuff because it leaves more room for me to write. Then of course I added this: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and my website, because then I got a website last year. So that's basically my flyer for this year, and I've handed out about 50 of these, and I've got like 20 of these in the van. So that's the only reason I only handed out 50 of these, because I had like 30 of these left over. So I'm trying to hand these out, and then once I finish handing these out, then I'm gonna print some more of these and hand these out. And like I said, I put two on a sheet, make them nice and big. So yep, those are my flyers. And I guess if people want to know how I hand out flyers, my number one rule about handing out flyers is don't go up to people if you don't have to. Some people will go door to door and knock on the door and give people flyers. I think that's a no-no. because my opinion, people could take that two ways, or two bad ways and maybe a good way. But the two bad ways is, one, they can be like embarrassed that you would come up to their door with a lawn care flyer. Out of all the people on their street, you would choose them and come up to them and give them a flyer, and you're like, hey, I do lawn care, and they're like, dang, does my yard look that bad? You know, now they're embarrassed. Or they could be offended, like, what are you trying to say? My yard looks bad? Now they're mad at you. You know what I mean? They're not gonna show that they're mad at you, but they probably won't call. They'll probably get their cousin to come cut the grass. Or it can go good. You know, you can hand out that flyer, they'll be like, oh my gosh, the guy that usually cuts my yard never comes, or I've been looking for somebody and you show right up. That happens sometimes, but less than likely. I just like leaving it, you know, whether I put it in the little flap on the mailbox, or if they have a paper box, I like to put it in there. You know, don't go inside the mailbox. That's like a federal crime or something. But or put it on the door. I like to stay around the mailbox area. You in and out quick, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, and as far as, and the reason I do it like that, the reason I say that is because, like, when you drop it off in the mailbox, it gives them time to think. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, what'll happen is they'll go get the mail, they'll pull out the flyer, they'll say, oh, you know, $45 for a cut, you know? So they won't throw it away. Some people might throw it away, but they won't throw it away at first. They probably lay it on the kitchen table or the counter. They'll wait for like a week, trying to see if their, you know, brother or somebody can come cut the grass, and when they say they can't come to cut the grass or whatever, they'll say, hey, I got this this flyer laying on my kitchen table, let me call this guy. You know what I mean? So they don't remember you as the guy that came up to them and told them that their yard looked like crap. Here's a flyer, let me cut your grass. They remember you as just this random flyer that they found on the mailbox. I guess, you know what I mean? That's how I see it in my mind. I don't know if that makes sense. Well, y'all probably don't agree with me or whatever, but that's why I like not conversing with somebody when I'm giving them a flyer. But anyway, I talked about this in another video, which was knowing your value. I think I talked briefly about handing out flyers, and basically my technique is, I think it's like 3 steps. First thing you're gonna look for is tall grass. That's the first thing you're gonna look for. You know, a lot of people might just go put flyer on everybody's house, no matter what. I don't do that. I just kind of spot flyer, you know, spot flyer. You get what I'm saying. I pick houses. There we go. I pick houses to put flyers at. I don't just put it on everybody's house. First thing I look for is tall grass. And once you see the tall grass, you got to look for the type of tall grass. If it's nice grass, it looks, you know, all green, no weeds and stuff, and it's tall, then that just might mean maybe the person's a little busy, they haven't got around to cutting it, and by you putting a flyer at their house, all that's going to do is remind them, oh yeah, I need to cut my grass, you know what I mean? Or, you know, there's some chance that, hey, maybe they legitimately are busy and they need somebody to cut the grass. So you can take that chance, but I don't really take that chance, because my thing is, if they're spending enough money to treat their yard, then they probably halfway care about their yard and they probably cut it themselves. But if I see a yard with tall grass and it's like all weeds, or not really, doesn't look like they care, and it's just like out of control, tall grass around the base of the house, you know, hasn't been edged in a while, or trimmed or whatever, that's check number 1. Once I check the type of grass, tall grass off, then I look at the type of cars. The type of cars will tell you a lot too, because if you look in the driveway and you see a pickup truck, you might as well skip that, because most likely a guy lives there. And most guys don't. I do have some guy customers, I'm not gonna lie, but most guy customers don't pay other guys to cut the grass unless they, you know, super busy, got money, and they just, you know, want to, you know, don't like being outside, or they got allergies. I done had that happen before. So yeah, there's that. But if you see like what I call mom cars or old people cars, like minivans or like Hondas, you know, like stuff like that, you know, Corollas, you know, the Matrix, those can kind of go either way. Some guys kind of consider those sporty, but you know, they can kind of go either way. Sometimes SUVs can go either way. You know, you might see an SUV and be like, well, that's a guy car, but some ladies have SUVs because they might have a few kids or something, and that's better for them, and you know, they didn't want a minivan. So but you kind of look for those kind of cars, like mom cars, old people cars, you know. And old people usually have like old cars. They don't care what kind of car they have. It's like a Oldsmobile or something, a Lincoln, or you know, something like that. But that's check number 2. What's check number 3? I have no idea. Once you get the type of grass, you get the type of car. Oh, see if it's lived in. You get what I'm saying? See if it's lived in. Like, you might see a car, and I mean a house, it has checks off everything. It has tall grass, check, has a mom car in the driveway, but then look to see if they have a water hose. Look to see if they have any type of lawn chairs, because sometimes what happens is people abandon houses, and I had houses where I'm walking up to put a flyer in the paper box, and I see the mailbox is flipped open and it's filled with mail because the person just left it. You know, they even left a car in the driveway just sitting there, and you know, they're not checking the mail. So what makes you think they're gonna check your flyer? You know what I mean? So I skip that. I'm not even gonna waste my flyer waste my money putting my flyer in that house. But yeah, so those are my three checklists for flyers. I do that, and that's how I hand out flyers. So like I said, last year I slacked and I had about 7 houses, and I actually have a thing. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but I'll let y'all know in on it because y'all my peeps. But I just calculated how many houses I have now, and I've gotten up to 14 houses. I've gotten up to 14, and that's 14 regulars. Those are, see, like when I count houses, I don't count like people that call me here and there. I have 14 regulars, which is a lot for me. That's probably the most I ever had, but I'm not done. Then I have a few people that call me here and there. I say about 2 to 4 people that might call me to cut the grass or whatever. Then just recently, a family friend, you know, through unfortunate circumstances, illnesses or whatever, that has a little lawn care business of his own. He wasn't able to maintain his manage his properties, so he called me out of everybody, and he was like, you know, hey Stacy, you know what I mean, blah blah blah, such and such happened, you know, I had to, you know, give up most of my houses, but I have 5 houses that I just don't want to leave those people high and dry. and I was wondering, would you be willing to take on those houses? I'm like, sure, of course, what you need, you know. So I went to his house, we sat down, chopped it up, and I was like, you know, what kind of percentage do you want? Because I'm like, I'm cutting these houses for you, you know, they're your houses, I wouldn't even be cutting them, so I'm not gonna just cut these houses and not get no percentage of it, you know what I mean, and not give no percentage back to you. And he was like, nah, it's all you. He said, you're doing me a favor by cutting these houses until I can get back on my feet. So I was like, wow, that's big, you know. So when you take that, my 14 houses that I got, and you add 5 more, now I got 19, plus the 2 to 4 that I might have. So you can round that up to like 21. 21? I don't know. Y'all watch mine or whatever. 21. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. My ideal goal. I know people been asking me, Seth, do you work a full-time job? Yeah, I work a full-time job. And they're like, when are you gonna stop working? In order for me to stop working, the minimum amount of houses I need, and this is just with cutting, I calculate I need about 28 houses. 28 houses, and the cutting alone would be enough for me to stop working. That would be enough for me to pay all my bills. But of course, you know, with those 28 houses, it's gonna be hedge trimming, you know, other stuff, leaf cleanups. So I'm gonna be making more than that 28 houses cutting, and that's 28 houses cutting bi-weekly. Some of my houses I cut every 10 days. The houses, especially the houses that I treat and has real nice grass, you can't just cut it every 2 weeks. You have to cut it every 10 days, a week sometimes. So, you know, that's my goal. So I mean, I don't really, right now I'm at 14. I'll round it off to 15. I don't really consider the houses that I've taken on for my friend my houses. Those are just his houses that I'm taking care of until he gets back on his feet. But right now I'm halfway there. I mean, and I'm around it. I'm not gonna stop it. Like, I'm not gonna get to 28 and be like, I quit, you know. I'm gonna wait till I get to about 30, clean 30. And they gotta be solid houses. They can't be like, I got this house this year and I hope I'll get them back next year. It has to be like, I know I'm gonna have this house back next year. So that's what it is. I think my storage is running out again because I talked so long, but I'm gonna hurry up. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, let me know what you want to talk about in the Tipsy Talk. Stay tuned. Yes sir.